So the question that I want to ask you right now, and this really has something to do with the title. I titled this, but like, what are you holding on to that you need to let go of? I've asked that plenty of times because it's a powerful question that you need to understand. Like some of us, we're holding on to the one thing that's holding our life back. We're holding on to the one thing that's literally holding our life down. And for me, it was my dream. For me, it was football. For me, because that was my identity. Who would I be without it? I thought that was my purpose, even though I feel like purpose is not something you search for. I believe you are purpose. Purpose is what you were created with, right? We can talk about that on a whole nother live. But it literally took me letting go of what was comfortable, letting go of what was familiar to walk into the unknown. Some of us, we will stay in a known pain and we'll never walk into an unknown peace because we're so afraid of the unknown. We have so much fear. Where you're at right now, if you feel like it's in a bad situation, you feel like it's a storm, no storm lasts forever. No storm lasts forever. No struggle lasts forever. The only way it lasts forever is if we give it permission to, if we stay stuck in the storm. It's kind of like, a lot of us, when it starts to storm outside in a thunderstorm, what do people do? They pull to the side, right? Which is safe. But if you keep driving, then eventually that storm will end. You will drive through the storm. A lot of us, we don't want to drive through it. A lot of us, we just want to wait. And sometimes in life, God calls us to be still. I get that. But sometimes it's us to persevere through the storm and move through the storm. And that storm isn't going to last as long in our life. Some of us, we're creative of our own storms. We're creators of our own storms, right? We complain that it rains when we create our own storms. Some of us, we sit in the storm that we're no longer supposed to be in. So I want to tell you this. Your current situation is not your final destination. Like, I'm living proof. Please, I always share my story with you guys because I want you to know, literally, I'm living proof of that. Like, I'm living proof of being at rock bottom in my life. And I know everybody's rock bottom is different. You might say, Trent, losing football, that's rock bottom for you? Heck yes. Football was my everything. Losing friends, like I get all that. Going through depression, suicidal thoughts, all these things. Losing myself, losing my identity, like being stripped, right? Being stripped. And so I understand that. But I realize that my current situation is not my final destination. Where you're at right now is a season. Where you're at right now is a chapter. You're in a chapter of your life. You might have some bad chapters, but you have the power right now. You have the power of choice. You have the power to decide, right? You have the power of choice. And if we think about it, life is just the sum of the choices that we made. Where you're at today is just a reflection of the decisions that you made, of the choices that you made. Life is not about what happens to you. It's less about what happens to you. It's more about how you respond to what happens to you. And that's about having that championship mindset that I talk about. Because when you're locked into a championship mindset, life gonna throw you curveballs, but if you already got that mindset, you predetermined that you ain't gonna fold, you predetermined that you ain't gonna break, you predetermined that you gonna rise above, you predetermined that you gonna conquer your struggle. When life throw you that curveball, you knock that thing out the park because you're ready for it. You ready for it. When life punch you in the face, yeah, it might knock you down, it might startle you a little bit, but you bounce back up and you fight back. You allow that minor setback to be a major comeback in your life, right? When you predetermine, that's why it's important to have that championship mindset, because a champion is focused on one thing. A champion is focused on winning his championships. A champion is focused on moving forward. A champion doesn't count the losses. A champion throws a blanket over the scoreboard. What does that mean? It means that we're not worried about what the score is right now. It's more time on the clock, so we're going to keep on grinding. We're going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on trying to find a way. If we can't find a way, we're going to create the way, right? If there's no way. That's what a champion is. And so in your life, it's the same thing. Some of us, we just got to throw that blanket over the scoreboard because some of y'all are counting your losses too much. And you don't even realize that, especially in sports, with me being an athlete, like the best games are the ones that you lose because those losses can teach you how to win. Those losses can change the season around. You can talk to most championship teams. They'll tell you, especially if they didn't go undefeated, they'll say that loss that we had was the best thing that happened to us because it made us refocus, it made us regroup. And that's the same thing with our life. Sometimes that storm, that loss, that setback is the greatest thing that happens to us because it makes us refocus our life. It makes us get closer back to God, whatever it is may be that you moved away from. For me, that greatest loss of football was what I needed with my life because it made me refocus my life. It made me rehab my life, mind, body, and soul. If I would never lost that, I would never arrived at where I'm supposed to be with my life. I can wholeheartedly, transparently, straight up, as real as I can put it, tell you that. Okay, so do not give up. Do not give up. Do not throw in the towel. Don't even bring a towel to throw in. When you're a champion, you don't bring no towel to throw in. Some of us, we got a towel because we thinking we're going to quit when it gets hard. Don't bring no towel to throw in. Okay, you just keep fighting. You got more time on your clock, and just keep telling yourself, my current situation is not my final destination. My current situation is not my final destination. You need to program that in your brain. You have to have a why inside you, a reason inside you to make you move forward, right? I feel like, when you realize how precious life is, when you realize that tomorrow isn't promised, when you realize that you could be very old. Old isn't determined by your birthday. It's determined by how much time you have left. Some of us could be very, very old. Some of us have 5 years left. Some of us, I pray not. Some of us have 30, 40, 50 years left, 60 years left. None of us never know. When that becomes like reality to you, when leaving legacy for your children become reality to you, when you have leverage in your life, I believe you make the decisions to move past fear, right? You don't have enough leverage in your life right now. You don't. I'll tell you that right now. If you were around me for 24 hours, I guarantee I will get you to make a move. I promise you I will get you to make a move with your life. Maybe you're thinking about the outcomes. Maybe you're allowing fear to paralyze you. These things. And so I would say, what's in your control right now that you can take a step to? Stop thinking so big. Think about the small things that you can take a step to right now. Like, what can you do right now, this moment, that will move you towards change? That would be my question to you. None of my videos are enough to change your life. It's a great tool to inspire, to influence, to help you. But the book is not alone going to make you change your life, right? You have to take what the book says and apply it to your life. You have to have transformation. You have to have these things, right? You have to. So it's more than just being inspired, guys. I just see it so much. So many people rely on motivation. They only move when they're motivated. And if you only move when you're motivated, you're not going to do much movement in your life. You got to do it when you're not motivated. You got to do it when days suck. This is life. You're going to have sucky days. I have sucky days. It's life. I have days that are full of struggle. It happens. But I know that I'm emotional resilient. What is emotional resilient? It means I push through my emotions, facts over feelings. I don't allow my emotions to control me. I push through it because I have a bigger reason. I have a bigger commitment. I have that championship mindset. I've already predetermined that what I want to do in my life, the championships I want to win, the legacy that I want to leave, the life I want to provide for my family, the life I want to use to honor God. I've already predetermined that, right? That's already set in stone. And so it doesn't matter what obstacle, what challenge, what hater, what doubt, what fear, what struggle, what adversity. It doesn't matter what comes in my way. I am not slowing down. Do I have bad days? Absolutely yes. Do I have days where I'm lazy? Absolutely yes. Do I have days where I procrastinate? Absolutely yes. But I don't stay there. I don't make it a habit. I don't stay there. But I just want to let you know I'm human, by the way. I don't want y'all to sit here, well, that's easy for you, Trent, because you have all these things figured out. Nah, I'm human just like you. I breathe just like you. Right? I pinch myself. It hurts just like you. But like I said, I have these habits and these systems and the mindset, championship mindset. I have this mindset in my life that will not allow me to settle. My biggest fear is dying without living. Dying without thriving, not even just living, like thriving, without being alive, like feeling alive, not even just being alive. Because some of us just good with just being alive. I want to feel alive. You feel me? That's a difference. Some of y'all just want to be alive. I want to feel alive. My biggest fear is literally having people have to make up stuff at my funeral. Like, I know y'all been there before. Like, rest in peace to the dead, straight up. But I've seen it before. I'm like, that wasn't that person. Like, dang, what was that? I've seen it. Because, of course, people want to say nice things about the person. But I want my stuff to be real and true. Like, I want it to be real, like Trent lived to serve. Like, I want it to be like people gotta take the microphone, be like, man, listen, it's too much. That's what I want to do. I refuse to go to my grave, however I'm cremated, whatever. I refuse all of that to be incomplete. I refuse that. I don't want to live incomplete life. That scares me too much. Knowing that God gave me a life and I didn't use the life that he gave me to its fullest potential. Like, I feel like it's slapping God's face. That scares me. That scares me to know what I could have been. Like, that scares me. That scares me because not just for me, but for my kids, the legacy I'm going to leave. Like, I have a responsibility to future generations. I have a responsibility. So when I make these videos, it's not just for you guys. Guess what? My grandkids and are going to watch these videos. They're going to know what I believed in, know what I stood for. They're going to have the answers. When I leave this earth, if I ever leave it, when I leave it, hopefully it's, down the road, 404 down the road, that Old Town Road. And when I leave it, my son, my daughter will know what I stood for. So this is just a thing for me to tell you. While you have this cell phone, you have a platform, like use it. Like create videos, create content, like leave your legacy through this. Even if it's not posting online, which I would suggest that you will. Why not? You can help people that you might not even know need help, but at least put in your phone, like share your ideas, write down your thoughts. Like just think about that. Like when you think about your kids. They be like, damn, that was my great grandpa. And this is what he stood for. This is what he believed in. Dang, he had a championship mindset. Like you're leaving seeds. So what seeds are you leaving for future generations? What legacy are you leaving? And I get it. You have struggles, you have things that you dealt with in your past and you haven't gave forgiveness and, I get it, but you got to fix it. You got to fix it. You got to face what you're not willing to fix. Okay. You got to fix what you're not willing to face. You got to. And the only way you can fix it is if you face it. You have to. And if you can't do it for you, do it for those that depend on you being the greatest you.